Hello, welcome back to my channel. In case you're curious, I'm shooting so late in the day. I'd shoot at night, but it's getting a little hairy here at night, and I gotta take my safety. And which, for that matter, is the reason why we're even making this video, because we're going to talk about my safety. You see, 2 years ago, I went to an event over in North Hollywood, and where I was guaranteed I'd be safe. And I felt safe the whole time I was there, but I kept running into some guy, and this is, mind you, this is pretty much largely a gay venue. So there was this straight guy, big guy, and he was dressed as security, and I thought maybe he works for here. I don't know. First time I'd been there. And every time I ran into him, he gave me the creeps, but he kept trying to engage me, which kind of bugged me because, A, I knew it was a gay bar. And usually the boys kind of leave me alone, or they smile and they say a couple of nice things, or they move on, whatever, or they ignore me, which is ever acceptable. This guy was flat out looking for a piece of action, and he had his eyes laser focused on me. And as the night wore on, I didn't feel right, and I said I had to leave this place. So as I left, I checked my six. My vehicle was only 75 feet away from the door, but the problem was the door was obstructed by an extended patio, so they couldn't see around the corner, so I was blind. So I had to traverse 25 feet, then there was a small little street, and then another 20 feet, and there would be my car. Very close by, right? Even had a weapon on me that night. So far so good, right? Well, I'm barely a few feet outside of that club. I know I'm barely about 10, 15 feet outside of that club. I'm making my way back to my car, and that sickening feeling like there's somebody coming up my six. I turn around, that man is staring there, and he's coming at me, eyes laser focused, and he's following me. And I start to pick up the speed. All my alarm bells start going off. I turn around. This man initially was 35 feet behind me. Now he's 20 feet. He's closed the distance really quick in a short time. I've got to cross that street, and I'm in heels and a few other constricting garments I won't go into, but I can see my car. I'm close to it. I'm about maybe 30 feet away. I turn around. This man is now under less than 15 feet away. He's gotten real close the distance. By the time I get within 10 feet of my car, he's now 10 feet behind me, and he's still laser focused on me, and he's almost all but charging. And now he's starting to pull out what looked like a white rag, and I noticed right in line with my car, there's an dark alleyway, and there was a lot of dark places to hide. And this guy looked like he was going to do something with that rag. I don't know, maybe it was chloroform. Maybe I don't know what he intended to do, but he is coming at me. At this point, I realize I can't outrun him. I can't turn around and stand fight this guy. This guy is about maybe 6'2" and maybe about 350 pounds of solid muscle. I ain't gonna fight this guy, no way. Weapon, it's in the car. Can't get to it, no good. All my martial arts training, with what I was wearing and the shoes I was in, forget about it. So, we'll have very few options. I am now only a few feet from my car. I turn around. This man is almost 4 feet behind me. He's closed the distance that fast. And lo and behold, traffic starts to come down my way. And so I race right in front of the cars and nearly got hit by one. But that's what kept me from being assaulted by him. And this guy booked out of there as bat out of hell. He got out of there so fast. Pretty much ran after that incident. And I got into the car, turned the ignition on. I didn't even wait to put my seatbelt on. I hit the accelerator almost like 90 miles an hour going down Burbank Boulevard, just trying to flee for my life. I was scared. And from that night on, for the next year, actually, to a degree, he's still with me. I park in a dark place. I still see him. Sneaking, looking behind the corner, waiting for me, waiting to ambush me. This guy planned a pretty good ambush. Apparently, the club didn't know of his presence. Everybody thought he was security. Everybody assumed that. He was dressed like a security guy. He looked like 1,000 black security men you've seen in many clubs. You know, smart guy. I planned it well. Fortunately, being a practicing witch, I sense things. And something told me I was a danger, get the fuck out. I got the fuck out of there. Almost, if that had been any other person, I think that guy would have done something pretty bad to me. That's an easy conclusion. Well, I suffered a lot of trauma from this. Nightmares, anxiety, panic attacks, breakdown crying because I felt so worthless afterwards. This man had stolen my security. My sense of safety was shattered. Now I felt like all my training was for nothing. And I couldn't rectify it to myself. I went and saw a friend, at her job, because she's working where I shop, and I told her my story, and she broke down, started crying, and hugged me and says, "I'm sorry to say you've become a member of the women's club that nobody wants to be a member of." Now, practically every woman I've ever known has been sexually assaulted. This would have been number 2. I narrowly escaped, but the trauma of that evening stays with me. So 2 years have gone by. I don't have the nightmares anymore, but I still have the panic attacks, and I'm still afraid to be in dark places because I think my attacker is going to be there. I see these dark shadows. Mind starts to play tricks on me. I said I had to confront this. My mother just died the other week, so I'm just pretty numb to a lot of shit right now. But I realized this is one problem I needed to address, and I couldn't put it off forever. So I made a neat little friend at another event, and they told me they do security and they wanted to go to the same place, and so we arranged to go there together. And they were gonna watch my back. Well, last minute they weren't feeling well, and they canceled the night, and I was gonna call it a night, but then some big guy decides he's gonna walk over to my car, get on his cell phone, light a big ass doobie, and he's blocking my exit. I can't get out of the vehicle. My only option is I either wait, see what the hell this guy does, because it wasn't exactly threatening me, but I didn't feel safe either, Not that I fear black men, but they've been getting a little aggressive, so just being cautious. After about 20 minutes of this, I realized this guy's not gonna let me get out of my fucking vehicle. And I'm getting pissed, and I said, you know what, I'm all dolled up, I'm just gonna go regardless. Maybe I get there early enough, maybe I could get a spot right out front. I get there 20 minutes before opening. Every available good spot is gone, and I'm left with my hard choices in dark alleyways and a side street, which made me very, very nervous. I was jittery all the way up until I got into the door, and once I got up to the door, I explained to the people, because they asked me, I told them I hadn't been there 2 years. They go, "Why haven't you been back?" I said, I don't know if you had heard, but it was my first time going out there, and a man that everybody assumed was security followed me out to my car, and he tried to assault me. And I hate to say it, but it's like this little guy inflicted a lot of fear into me, and I've been too afraid to come back, because I knew I'd be reliving that moment, I'd be reliving that night, and it's too much, especially with all the shit I got to deal with right now. Couldn't do it. But somehow I got myself there. There's this young kid working the door. Maybe he's about 25 years old. Everybody under 40 is a kid to me. But he was so moved by my story, and he tells his boss, and I was like, "You hear this shit? Asshole posing as security." And somebody mentioned, "Yeah, I'd heard this a couple years ago." Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, that was me. I was the person that he chased down, and I go, "Wow, so sorry." And kid pledges to me, he says, "Listen, I'm working here tonight, and now that I know who you are and I know what your story is, I'm gonna make sure nobody fucks with you." I said, "Okay." I said, well, you don't have to be with me handhold me the whole night, but if somebody could walk me back to my car when I leave, it would be really nice. And so I proceed to just keep my cool. In the back of my head, I keep thinking, I'm going to run into this guy and I'm going to be ready to say, stay the fuck away from me. You know, stay the motherfucker away from me. I was just ready for it, but God never showed. And it was a good thing. Said, friend I hadn't seen in a long time. Actually, a couple friends I hadn't seen in a long time showed up, and we had a few beers and a couple of other drinks, and just talked for a little while until I felt, okay, it's time to leave. I'm gonna leave early. My wife wasn't with me, so I mean, can't really do much without her, and it's never fun without her anyway. But I needed to network and mission accomplished. So it's time to leave the gate, and I see that kid is out there, and there's more than one person at the door. I asked him, and they say, "You leaving so early?" I go, "Yeah, I got to take care of some things." And but you remember what I told you earlier? I said, "Yeah, I haven't forgotten." And I said, "Would you be so kind, or could you arrange for someone to walk with me?" He says, "I will walk you to your car." This kid. So he took my by my hand and he walked me all the way there and made sure. And I was panicking the whole time until I got to the car, and then I could breathe a sigh of relief. I was safe. This kid was half black, and so this isn't a racial thing, trust me. I looked at him, I said, "Thank you so much." I said, "You helped buy a piece back of my safety." I said, "You made me feel safe, and I think I can maybe lay that demon to rest." I mean, I'm always going to be looking over my shoulder in certain places, but I needed to slay that demon. And I said, "You helped me do it." And we wound up giving each other some big hugs, and got in the car and left. And as I drove away, I had this big sigh of relief that, I got lucky. Not just that first time, but the second time around. This time I had people looking out for me. And this is the one thing I don't like about transitioning. It's like I've kind of gone into this whole kind of submissive kind of person, because, any other way, a piece of myself that I really don't want out anymore comes out. And it's like me drinking straight tequila. You're going to get another personality, and you're not going to like them. I felt at ease. I felt safe, and I want to thank those people. I can't mention the name of it because there's a level of discretion that's required in order to attend this place. But I will say that among you hear about a lot of horizontal hate, and sometimes you see it within the LGBTQ community. But last night, I was in a place that wasn't exactly friendly for femmes or trans, but yet one or two of us go. And, this is largely a gay crowd. And, nobody mistreated me. In fact, they protected me. And I am ever grateful and thankful, especially to that kid. He was my hero last night. And, I'm sorry I forgot your name. I'm really bad with things. But if you're watching, thank you. You did a good deed, and I just hope that every other member of that club that I'm unfortunately a member of will have that moment where somebody, in the name of justice and goodwill, will take that moment out and walk them to their car, make them feel safe, because that is a level of terror you're just not prepared for. And I hope none of you, particularly my fellow trans sisters out there, it's a fact, and this is something that the cis men who want to call us sexual predators, I hate when they project. It's a fact that almost every trans girl at some point will be sexually assaulted, yours truly included. The average is about 4 to 5 assaults in a lifetime. I've got 2 now. Hopefully I won't have any more, at least if I can help it. But unfortunately, I'm a member of the club. Every other woman I know, about 2 out of 3 women I know, has also been sexually assaulted. Never once by a trans girl. So pushing the lies, especially you, the fucking ape, fucking Rogan. You're so full of shit, dude. Like, take a good look at me. I mean, I might have a deep, raspy voice because I smoke, and I'm old. But I am the least likely person. Yeah, in fact, most women are safer with me than being in the bathroom with a male Republican. I hate to say that, but I think back, when they put all these stupid bathroom bills on all these poor women that aren't feminine enough or woman enough to some man are being assaulted by this stupidity. There was a couple times back in the 90s, a couple girls OD'd, not on the same night, of course, and I was the only one person there who could get them out and get them to safety, get the EMTs, save their lives, and I did it, and I'd do it again. These bathroom bills they're not about protecting anyone. I mean, that's the lie. They're protecting women and children. Bullshit. You're not protecting women and children. You're policing women and children. You're policing who you think may be a woman, may not be a woman, and those who you think is not a woman, you just want to flat out assault, terrorize, photograph, and behave like a sexual predator yourself. In fact, it's ironic that the biggest sexual predator, most famous sexual predator, is calling us sexual predators, and that's as a survivor of sexual assault. It's just fucking golden. But hey, he who shits on a golden toilet, right? Well, that's been my tale, and fortunately, this one has a bittersweet ending. And thanks for tuning in. And if you know somebody who's undergone this, give them a hug and watch their back. It's going to take them a good while. I went through 6 months of therapy and it didn't help me much. I had to just go there, go through the paces and confront it myself. And I'm glad I did. Thank you for tuning in. If you like our videos, please please like and subscribe. I know everybody tells you this, but it is true. It has helped us quite a bit. And given all the steps to create transgenocide, this poor trans girl could use a little love too. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Be good to each other. And as always, love you all.